which purchase easements, and we work through both of those programs, and I'll talk about some of those in a second. Again, they can reduce income taxes, and currently, if you're a farmer, if you remember, it was 50% deduction. If you're a farmer, you can take 100% deduction of your federal income if you have a working farm and spread that out over 16 years. So you're not paying federal taxes for 16 years if you put an agricultural easement on your property for qualifying landowners. So that's how the tax structure is in place now. We're pretty sure that's going to change by the end of this year, but we've got a lot of landowners that are trying to get things in under this year so that they can, enjoy some of these tax benefits for their easement. So if you know somebody that's interested in an easement, this is certainly the year to do it. The Blue easement, 68 acres in Auburn Township. D and Bill Ballou donated this easement in 2007. Working forest, farmland, agricultural land. They hay it. Sometimes they do corn and beans, but they can do whatever they want in the agricultural areas. They could grow grapes, they could grow apples, whatever they want to do. Those agricultural areas are always available for agriculture. The remainder of the property is protected as a natural area. So that was a donated easement. This is the Ober agricultural easement, which we finally finished up last year. This was a 4 or 5 year saga that involved the federal government and one of the federal purchase easement programs. They have all these stipulations that come with their easement language. We fought diligently, and thank God Les Ober stuck around with us throughout the entire time. This is one of the last working farms in Newberry, right off of 87 and Auburn Road there, kind of behind Manja Manja. He wanted it protected. He wanted to be able to sugar. He was in a position where he just couldn't donate the easement. That was just the situation. So we worked to get some federal funds in the door for him. We had to get almost an act of God. It was really an act of Congress to get the oil and gas company to sign off on the easement, which was what they had to do to make this go. He had a pre-existing, like almost every farmer has, a pre-existing oil and gas lease. It's an old Clinton oil lease, but it's still a lease that's in place, and that has to be addressed between the oil and gas company and the Land Conservancy, and so this is one that we worked through. I fought very hard to finish, and I'm glad it's over. But we're very happy that it's protected, and so is Les. The Whedon agricultural easement, by far my favorite farmland easement. I worked on this one for 12 years. I came from an organization called Grandifer Partners. We tried to do this one 3 times with the federal program, and then finally in 2011 we finished it with the state program, which is the LAPP program, which is the agricultural easement purchase program that the state has, the Ohio Department of Agriculture. Back in 2011, the Geauga County actually kicked in funding to make this happen. They had a farmland protection fund at the time. It doesn't exist anymore, but they were able, through the Planning Commission, to kick in some cash to bring this one together and get this property protected. 284 acres. This is on Route 528 as you're going down to 422. It's on your left-hand side before you get to Hosmer Road. It sits up on the hill, and if you actually ever go up to the top of the hill, on the 4th of July, you can watch 6 different firework displays at one time because you can see all winter Warren. It's the most unbelievable view you've ever seen. And Mildred Whedon doesn't mind if people go up and look. So next time you're out that way, just drive down, and there's a nice turnaround there. You can see a gorgeous view. So protected, one that we're very proud of, a big acreage area. This is down by Mr. Augustine's property. And so anyway, we are excited to have this one under our belt as well. Land acquisitions. The Land Conservancy does not prefer to own and manage land, although we do. We have a couple preserves out in Ashtabula County and Trumbull County that we own. These are showcase pieces that we do restorations on and we engage donors with in various ways. But we typically don't want to own property. That's not what our role is. We look to the park districts, the townships, Division of Wildlife, Cleveland Museum of Natural History, other organizations to own property, but we do like to buy property, protect it, and get it to those organizations and get to them as cheaply as possible. And again, we also work with private buyers to buy and transfer properties from the landowner that wants to sell their property or has to sell their property, but wants to make sure that it's not bought and cut up into 5-acre bowling alley lots or clear cut or something else. And so we have a series of folks that are looking to buy and a series of folks that are looking to sell. They're always approaching us from different directions, and we try to play matchmaker. When we do that, the properties end up getting protected one way or another, and so we're able to put those deals together in that way. Here we are. Orchard Hills Park, this ended and was completed in 2009, probably trickled into 2010 a little bit. 234 acres here, Geauga Park District. This is one of my favorite parks. You know, unbelievable. When you take a golf course that has built-in paths already, it's almost a turnkey park. We've restored some wetlands, we've restored some streams here. We did all this work reforesting the fairways. Geauga Park District has done a fantastic job with this park all around, from the tie-in with this agritourism area here at Patterson's, all the way to the sled riding hill. I bring my son here all the time and I show him the wetlands that were restored, these beautiful forests, the wildflower fields, and he just wants to go 10 feet from the parking lot to the playground. So he's 4, he'll get it eventually, but right now he loves the playground, so that's as far as we get. But anyway, this is an example of a great collaboration between the Land Conservancy and a park district. We did this for the park district at the time. I think, John, you were on the board of the park district at that time. So was Jim Patterson as well. We went out and raised funds for this, state, federal funds, to pull this together, and pretty much with some fees, but we handed it over to the park district, and it cost, you know, Geauga County residents, you know, less than 10 cents on the dollar to bring this to them, and everybody's happy. And that's the model we like to use. We're doing this model right now in Ashtabula County very successfully. We've done it in Lake County. We've done it with Cleveland Metro Parks. That's what we want to do. We want to facilitate these things and put them in the hands of the experts that manage and provide beautiful access to these places. Scenic Rivers Retreat is an example of a property we bought or helped buy with Munson Township. 2005, this is an example of us working with the township, our township park district. You know, this is a nice area. It's 95 acres it started off, but it was added to several parcels down the road on the Chagrin River, on Mayfield Road. Probably not a very well-used park, but it's got unbelievable resources in the back. This is, if you've never been there, this is a hidden gem for a park, and we love this one. And we do these deals. I guess the reason I put this in here is to show that we do these deals not only with county park districts, but also townships and township park districts. Madru, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this property. No. So we worked on this one for probably a decade, maybe 15 years. There's a lot of ups and downs with this. We're not going into all of that tonight, but it is 53 acres. It's in Russell Township. It's 4 Russell Township parks. This was a battle for sure. You know, there was a lot of issues with this. There were funding issues. There were political issues. There were all kinds of people asking for different things in different directions. And honestly, it's still not done. There is going to be a public meeting on April 29th, which is 2 Saturdays from now, where we are going to discuss this specifically in an open public forum for anybody that's interested, and talk about the future of the park, conceptual ideas that we're going to be working on to make this a reality. This will be a passive park, so it'll allow for you know, passive park uses, which include trails and pavilions and things like that. It's not a nature reserve. It's not intended to be a nature reserve, but it's going to be something more along the lines of like a Throwing Meadows or something like that. So we're excited about this one. We are certainly excited that this one is over the hump here, and we look forward to providing this to the communities of Russell Township as well as Chagrin Falls. I mean, essentially this is almost Chagrin Falls, and this is a very important piece. What's interesting about this one, for me, a couple things. One, you know, the township had the money in place. They paid $1.2 million, but you know, the price to do this was closer to $1.6 million. And the Land Conservancy went out and privately fundraised to get that other hundreds of thousands of dollars to make this thing come together. This wasn't like we wrote a state or federal grant to get the rest of that funds in place. This was the premier example of community-supported conservation. The residents wanted this to happen. The will of the residents spoke out loud. This happened, and they also put their money where their mouth was. So this is an amazing project on a lot of levels. We are very happy that this is on track, and this one is just starting. So we'll see where it goes in the future, but again, we're very excited about it. So, Geauga County. Here's the statistics for Geauga County. We've protected 22 farms in Geauga County that represent about 3,000 acres. 99 different natural area easements and projects. That includes parks and private conservation easements. that represent 5,400 acres with a total of 121 projects completed and almost 8,500 acres just in Geauga County. So this is what we're providing for the community. This is, again, on task with our mission in terms of land protection. We're very excited to do this. We're anxiously anticipating 10,000 acres soon, probably in the next couple of years. That's a milestone for us in any county. Geauga County, incidentally, is our second highest in terms of acres to Trumbull County, but it's #1 in total projects we've completed. So the epicenter of our work has certainly been in Geauga County, and we're very happy to have provided it for the residents here. So.